Nothing is more expensive than something that feels free. Not too long ago, if you were rushing through an airport or train station, you might have encountered members of the Hare Krishna movement dressed in bright saffron robes, smiling warmly as they moved through the crowd. One of them would gently hand you a small flower. Most people accepted it, not because they wanted it, but because refusing felt awkward or impolite, and if you hesitated, the response was always soft and reassuring. "Please take it. It's our gift." At first, it seemed harmless. You might even toss the flower into the nearest trash can a few moments later, only to notice several others already lying there. But the exchange was not over. Once the flower was in your hand and that subtle feeling of obligation began to settle in, another devotee would approach and ask for a donation. Surprisingly often, people gave money. The method worked so effectively that some airports eventually prohibited the group from soliciting on their property. Psychologist Robert Cialdini explains why this strategy is so powerful. In his research on persuasion, he identified the principle of reciprocity. When someone gives us something, we feel an internal pressure to return the favor. Human beings are deeply uncomfortable with the idea of owing someone else, even if the gift was unsolicited. This principle is used everywhere, not only by religious groups, but also by charities, marketers, and businesses. Just recently, I received an envelope in the mail from an environmental nonprofit filled with beautiful postcards featuring mountains, forests, and lakes. The letter inside insisted the cards were mine to keep whether or not I chose to donate. Even knowing exactly what they were doing, I still felt guilty throwing them away. Retailers and corporations use the same technique all the time. A salesperson offers you free samples at a grocery store. A company representative invites a client to dinner or gives them tickets to a sports game. Later, when it's time to make a purchasing decision, the person feels subtly pressured to return the kindness. Yet reciprocity is not simply a trick invented by marketers. It is deeply rooted in evolution and survival. Imagine living thousands of years ago as a hunter-gatherer. One day you successfully hunt a deer, far more meat than you can eat before it spoils. Sharing it with your group makes sense. Later, when your own hunt fails, others will share with you. In this way, reciprocity becomes a primitive but effective insurance system. This instinct helped humans survive, build trust, and create the foundation for trade and modern economies. Without it, there would be far less cooperation and likely no global economy at all. However, reciprocity has a darker side. The same instinct that motivates kindness can also fuel revenge. One insult leads to another. One act of violence invites retaliation. Before long, conflicts spiral into endless cycles of payback. Even in everyday life, reciprocity can quietly trap us. A boring dinner invitation turns into multiple boring dinners simply because saying no feels rude. A free taste of cheese or wine at the supermarket can turn into a cart full of things you never planned to buy. Reciprocity is one of humanity's most powerful social forces. At its best, it creates trust, cooperation, and mutual support. At its worst, it manipulates our decisions, traps us in obligations, and fuels cycles of revenge. The challenge is learning to recognize when reciprocity is serving us and when it is controlling us.